All right, so I had as usual, I had some thoughts in my head, and since I've been going through a transformation of body and mind and spirit, I've definitely been trying to get a lot more verbal and then show what's inside my head. Like I said, for some people who want to listen, some who don't, you keep moving. It's all good. There's a million other things out there to listen to. I don't take it personal because I'm still gonna speak. I was thinking about the word suffering and what suffering means to me and what it can mean to other people. It's a pretty strong word, suffering. Some people might not even use that word. It's usually in a religious format or just pain format. I don't know if you remember, but a little while ago I posted a picture of me and a really good friend of mine who's in prison, and he has 33 to life. He's been in for 25 years. Uh, Committed a homicide when he was like 17 years old. Fast impulsive situation. Pretty much lost his life, and he's 44 years old now, and he's definitely found his own God in there, and he's been very humble and patient, and he prays. And although he's been incarcerated, lost his life, he still makes the best out of the situation. And I remember when I visited him last, I had a conversation with him because he's going back and forth to court now. He's trying to get a sentence reduction from 33 years to 25, so particularly trying to get out. And I remember asking him a question. I said, "Do you feel like you suffered enough?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Have you suffered enough?" And he's like, "Yeah, I miss my family." I said, "Your family ain't got nothing to do with this." I said, "This is a personal thing that you need to come into consciousness of. Have you suffered enough? Not only for the act that you committed, the crime that you committed, but do you understand what it means to suffer?" And when I think about that, I think about times in my life when the internal turmoil and pain that I felt was definitely suffering. And I think the true definition of suffering is almost like you're sitting in this hot pot on a stove. It's not that hot that it's burning, but it's warm enough, but you're contained and you're just bubbling in your own emotional mess and your own actions. And it hurts. And it hurts, but it doesn't hurt enough to take your life away. It doesn't hurt enough to make you quit. It doesn't hurt enough to make you stop going on. You're just right in the middle and you're just dealing with it and you're suffering. And people can suffer on different timelines of their life, and it comes and goes. It depends on the situation, and I think it depends on what you're getting out of it. And I don't think you ever could say I suffered enough. People suffer enough, but suffering is a part of testing. Suffering is a part of the refinement, the building, and the chipping and chiseling, and making your character sharp and more godlike and shine for the attributes that are hidden within you. I feel like the suffering is the scraping, the shaving, and I find myself suffering a lot, and I don't know if it's because God has a big plan for me, and I need to sharpen and tighten my character up even more because I need to be a superior example for people who are going to be struggling behind me, and He wants to make sure that the quirks and errors and inefficiencies are really tighten me, and I'm going through the process, and I fight it. I definitely fight this process because I'll be like, come on, man, give me a break. What I'm going through now and why, but it's about letting go, man. It's about letting go of a lot of worldly desires and attachments that you want to cling on to as vices, comfortable vices that feed not the soul but feed the lower desires of men and women, and they're tempting and they're out here and we get comfortable with them. Lower desires could be laziness, unproductiveness, to indulging in food, to different relationships that you could have. But in the process of suffering, it's like the cleansing of the heart and the mind. And you can fight it. You don't have to embrace the suffering. You may take a shortcut. But me personally, I've been dealing with it in my face And you know what? I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting that suffering where I'm not understanding why I'm going through what I'm going through and what I need to transition to, what I need to develop inside myself to fulfill the criteria to why I'm suffering. You know, it's obviously it has to do with a mental strength. It's by far nothing external, materialistic, or nothing. You're not suffering to gain materialistic stuff. You're suffering to enhance mental qualities within inside you, strengths, weaknesses. This is why we suffer. And it's tiring, it's exhausting, it's fatiguing, and it's a matter of perspective and moods and how hell bent you are to complete this suffering task, this breaking down and this rebuilding. You suffer because you're breaking down. You're getting broke down to your weakest point and reshaped, reconditioned, recleaned, put back out there. So you should ask yourself, when's the last time you feel like you suffered? You could have suffered a long time ago, childhood, adulthood, before you became who you are now. But ask yourself that question. Have you really suffered for a worthy cause? And has the suffering matured different attributes in your character that you're going to use in the future? Not only to be more stern in your own character, but to help other people. Because God knows I still am suffering. So what that tells me is that I feel really good about myself. I'm pretty confident. My self-esteem's not that low, but I need work still. And we all have to have work done on different ways. So the work I need done might not be the work that you need done, but you gotta embrace that suffering.